everyone probably knows somebody or has known someone with an addiction or a drug overdose. Lately in this world, unfortunately, there's been a lot of it, and that's what leads us to the opiate epidemic. Overdoses are growing, not only in elderly, but also the youth. They're getting higher and higher each year and daily. But we're going to learn today how the U.S. is helping. So why so many are becoming hooked? Well, what happens is when you take that pill, that drug, your incentive, it's euphoria to the brain. The euphoria to the brain is what leads to the addiction. You already have a natural balance inside your brain, so that causes for the addiction to occur more. It's also very easy accessible. They're prescribed daily. Every day, doctors are prescribing more and more. But not only are the doctors prescribing, but they're also found on the streets. You can find them in any medicine cabinet, at your friend's or your family's house. That's what leads us to the 6.5 million that are hooked. Now if you take a look at this, this is the normal activity of the brain. But then this is what it looks like with opiate use. You can tell that the drugs take over the brain, and that gives the dependency that people are using. And it also is referred to as the high. Now let's look into the rise. So each year there's about 16,000 overdoses in the United States, 15 that are happening daily. So if you look over the past years, you can see the growth in every state in the United States. And not only is it growing, but it's also killing more people than cars and homicides. If you take a look, this bright red line is drug overdose. So you can see how it's completely escalating above car accidents and shootings. And that's according to CNN, which was last updated on September 2017. So now that you guys have seen a little bit of how it's growing, let's take a look at who's using it. So it came shocking to me. Never did I picture that the elders would be using it longer than anyone else. And actually that's among the top priority right now. A lot of the elders have taken this lead. It's 12% higher in the past 3 years than it has been. Elders are getting this easily because of being in nursing homes. The doctors are just prescribing more and more each day. There are also 55 million prescriptions each year of these, of the antidepressants and also the opiates. But it's also our youth, the high schoolers. 1 out of 12 have admitted to have used, and only 2% between the ages of 12 and 17, which isn't that high, but that's also only between 12 and 17. So as they get older and venture out, that's when it occurs more. High schoolers tend to get it from their friends, their parents, anywhere they can absolutely find it. But a bad doctor is worse than a street corner drug dealer. A doctor is someone who is shrouded in the public trust. A doctor has to be treated more harshly than a street drug dealer, said Fox News, which was last updated May 24th, 2017. What I mean by this is the doctors out there today are prescribing, and are they really prescribing for the right need? No, they're not. They're basically just giving it to them, and that's what's occurring. That's why all these overdoses are occurring. Our doctors now are being trained and specialized in drug overdose, which leads me to the action that's taken over. So they're being trained to know what to look for. They're looking to see why and how many you're looking to get. So when you go to the doctor and you have a broken knee, they're not just going to be like, here's a whole bottle, have a good day. They're going to give you 5 to start with. After those 5, you then have to return to the doctor and see what's necessary to continue with your pain. State laws tend to vary. Each state is different, and it depends on the state of how the laws are regulated when it comes to drug control. they're limiting the amounts, which leads me to the 1970 Drug Act. The 1970 Drug Act actually states in 5 different categories which each drug is. So depending on the drug, it labels it, and it'll break down into the 5 categories, which describe it as the ones that are as potent, and then the ones that people aren't necessarily going for. So the ones that are mostly used to harm and the ones that are most addicting are normally in category 1, and then it breaks it down to the least that people are using. So that leads me to this. For everyone out there, you've now learned the rise, who is using, but also the laws of how we're taking control. So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Take this information and realize how important it was and how the U.S. is helping. And whether you know somebody or knew somebody, I know this has probably hit close to home. Thank you.
Yeah.